Hello everyone, I'm Cassandra.
And I'm Mom.
And this is Millennial and Mom. And today we are here to review 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, Season 4, I believe it's episode 11.
Yeah, with so many 11s and 12s, I mean, who knows?
In that 3-hour shebang last week. Season 11, 12, Private Eyes.
Private Eyes, watching you. Come through, Hall & Oates. What you know about that, Millennial?
I don't know nothing about that.
Come on, moms and dads. That's Hall & Oates. Okay.
Well, let's get into the video.
So we pick back up from that extended hour from last week. Lisa walks off after the conversation with Usman because she was upset because he said he wants to be the king of the castle, king of the house. She's like, I don't know who he thinks he's talking to. I'm an American. I don't know what he thinks this is, but he's not going to control me.
That's probably another reason why she got someone from another country, so she can try to run people.
I don't know, but she walked off like she weren't scared this time. So, of course, Usman's like, hey, where are you going? And so he finally catches up with her. She's like, no, I don't like how you talk to me. You talk to me like you're stupid or something. I'm like, see, there she go. She's disrespecting him again. That's what he's been saying. He's like, well, I don't know, but I'm a man, and, you know, men usually have the control. She's like, no, it needs to be 50-50. They go on to say it's going to be...
She don't want it to be 50-50.
She don't. They go on to say, well, Usman goes and say it's going to be 60-40, only because you're from America. But, you know, Lisa's trying to get him to understand that there's a cultural difference and there's two cultures trying to come together and to get Usman to see. But Usman's like, no, I'm sure it's the same way in America.
Right. But, like, see, now who's talking to who's stupid? Don't you think he knows it's a cultural difference?
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
So after that, they, for now, get on the same page. Next, we see them fly back to the city because they want to get a marriage certificate and see how they can go about getting one.
This was my part. You know why?
Yeah, because we've seen it before in another season with other people, but you tell our subscribers why.
I'll be there for you. Anything you want, I would do for you, girl. When they played his song, I was like, oh, his little tribute song to her. I don't care what anyone says. That song is about.
So anyways, they meet with the officiant, the government official. They ask how they can get married. They're like, well, you got to put your name on a document. We post it outside the door.
Posted outside the door?
Yeah. So like, if you've been married before, like, this is going to be my husband, this is going to be my wife. And she turns to Usman and said, have you been married before? Okay, see, now if you know the cultures, you know they can have many wives in certain cultures.
She don't care. You know she don't care about that.
I know, but I'm just telling what happened on the show.
She don't care about nothing. The only thing she cares about is that she's American and he's coming to America so they can live the American way.
Well, turns out the officiant says, has either one of you been married before? Usman says no. Lisa says yes. He turns to her and the officiant looks like, do you have your divorce decree? She's like, no, I don't have it. Was like, well, we can't marry you then, or even put the proceedings together to get you married if you don't have it. She's like, what? So you're trying to tell me I'm about to go back to the States to go home, that I have to call the States, try to get the divorce decree, and sit here in 3 days? You know that's not going to happen. International mail doesn't happen that fast. And you have to be verified with whoever with your divorce decree. So once they find that information, they get up and leave. Of course, Lisa's upset. She's like, I gave you 6 months. You should have told me before I got here what I needed before I came to get married. 6 months. And I told you a month before, a week, whatever the case may be.
No, she should have did her own research. I blame her.
I agree.
Much as Usman is to blame too.
Moving on to Ed and Rosemary. So they're back at the hotel. They go down to swim. And Rosemary's like, oh, I should go swim the beach. And Ed is like, no, I'll stay up here because I don't want to get too sandy. I mean... there's sand at the beach. Anyways, they end up going swimming at the hotel pool. They're having a good time, actually. And once they're done swimming, Ed decides to tell Rosemary about his secret. The secret is about the vasectomy. And Rose is not happy about this.
Her face actually dropped.
It did. And she wanted to know why he didn't tell her. And she said, I wanted to have 2 babies with you. And it's like, well, I'm 54 years old. I don't want any more kids. Rose is like, well, maybe you want to think about it. He's like, no, there's nothing to think about.
I just don't understand the point of him being with this younger woman, knowing that she wants to have kids, knowing that you don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
And you to fly out, do all this stuff, accuse her, embarrass her on TV. So what is the point of you getting with this younger woman? Ed.
Are you asking Ed?
Ed.
Then we cut to the next morning. And Ed wakes up. He's in the room. And he opens the blinds. He's like, when I woke up, I don't see Rosemary there. Apparently, Rosemary was so upset by the conversation that she left. And he said he calls her, he texts her, he asked the front desk if she left a message. She didn't do none of that. He goes down for breakfast. He's getting his coffee and water. Next thing you know, here come Rosemary. Now she's walking with some type of like air about her now, like she came to tell Ed something, which is about time. That's when she gets into saying how she was embarrassed, how he thinks that she's like her sister asking for money. And, how come you didn't tell me in advance? You didn't want any kids. You could have told me before you got here. You knew I wanted 2 kids. You could have told me this. Why? And he didn't have a real answer.
And he was shocked by this. He was like,
me?
Basically, how dare she come at me with all these accusatory statements that are true? Like, he is just something else.
Well, he was so used to telling her what to do that he was shocked that she was like, oh, she's talking to me like this. So, bottom line is, Rose told him that she was done.
Right. He thought because he had some money, he could probably control her. But as we all know, what the real tea is, that's not true. Then we get to Geoffrey and Varya, and we see them at the sauna. And I've never seen this at the sauna before, where they hit you with the leaves.
Bushes.
The bushes on the leaves. Well, she said he's used to that regular sauna that's boring. I'm like, so this is interesting?
Well,
this looks like it hurts.
To some. Depends on what you into.
Okay. Got into cabins in the woods. And they talk about the relationship. Geoffrey asks, well, how do you feel now? And of course, she still feels uncomfortable because all the lies that he's been telling.
Yeah.
And he kind of gets that, but he wants to make sure they go in the right direction. And how does he want to verify this? He wants to get married to the girl. I think that's a no. It's just not going to work out.
Well, you never know what Varya's thinking. But while they're taking that nature trip, once they fly back to Siberia, Geoffrey's kind of like beating around the bush trying to find out where her mind is, because he knows she's apprehensive. He knows her family's apprehensive, and he just wants to show Varya that he's here for her.
So do you think he's trying to push her into it because he knows that her family isn't with it?
I don't know, push into it, but I know that it seems like he wants to be in a relationship, but he knows or feels that what he said, her family and Varya is not buying. So he's trying to say, well, I need to propose to her before I lose her.
And here we see David finally come back to the U.S. after being stood up for the 4th time. But this isn't enough for David. David said, I want more.
Not only did he stalk her allegedly in the Ukraine, now he's going to hire a private investigator. I'm like, why? Didn't Antony answer the door?
Now I'm like, okay, David, this is a little too much. At first, when he pulled up to the house, I was like, okay, he pulled up, he want to see what's happening. I was here for that.
Well, but I wasn't.
But now him hiring a private investigator, it's like you're just throwing away all your money at this point.
Well, he's determined to get Lana to come live with him in that RV. Well, anyway, so he's home now, and he invites Victoria over and to interpret the call from the private investigator who he hired. And she's saying how, Lana is on 4 different websites, same picture, different name, scamming.
He said the lies.
Yeah. And
it isn't true. And Victoria, she's like,
don't get mad at me. I'm only translating.
Basically, like, why am I here too?
Right.
That's how I would have felt. Like, I'm over here for you translating, and you're gonna say everything that he's saying is a lie that you paid money for. Like, why would he lie about that?
Exactly. Somebody who doesn't know you, right? So after the call, Victoria expresses like, you know what, good luck to you. Pretty much what will be, will be. But David says, you know what? I don't believe a word the investigator has to say. I know Lana. I've known her for 7 years, and she just wouldn't do this to me. Mm-hmm. Okay, David.
Right. At this point, now it's just exhausting. David. He could be giving the money to us. We live in Vegas, too.
I know, but I don't want to be in an RV, though.
Then we get to the other people in Vegas. Yolanda and Williams, a.k.a. Catfish at this point.
Right.
Because her children decide to finally do that reverse photo lookup. Mm-hmm. To see who this person is for real.
But before you continue, Yolanda, we also live in Vegas. And David, call MTV. Neve is looking for new people for Catfish.
Why? They were already on here. We don't want to see them twice on here.
Well, they want answers that they're not getting. So
they're not going to believe it anyway.
Well, at least Neve will take them to where the people might be.
Yeah, but we need Max because Max be getting people together. But anyways, they did the reverse photo lookup search thing.
Reverse image search.
For Williams. And of course, it's a whole nother person.
It's a stock photo.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, maybe we can look up another photo. Maybe it's a different one, you know? But like...
Yolanda, it's a stock photo. This photo, the last photo, the other photo, the entire album in your phone is a stock photo.
And you can tell her kids are over it. They just have this look like, why, Mom? Why are you doing this to us on the TV? Like, is the check really that big?
Let me say this. One of our commenters said, Yolanda is no longer invited to the barbecue. And I agree.
She can still come to the barbecue. We just got to take away her phone. She got to get the jitterbug. Now we're back to Darcy and Tom. And Darcy pretty much wraps it up saying, you know, Tom came over here to give that apology to make himself feel better with the note, which I low-key feel like they got the note and taped it back up to see what it said.
Listen, even I wanted to know what it said, just because.
She says she's done, she's over it, she's moving on to bigger and better.
While mailing back that Harry Potter key.
Right. Then we get to Tom, and I honestly don't even want to talk about Tom, so we're going to wrap Tom up really quick because he just did Darcy so wrong. The only reason why he's on here is for his 15 minutes of fame every Sunday night on TLC. Well, basically, he calls his girl, the new Darcy lookalike, who lives in Toronto. He basically said, you know, it's done. I'm over it with her.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm in love with you. And she said, oh, I always felt like you probably still had feelings for her. He reassured her he doesn't have feelings for her, so he's flying out to Toronto. And hopefully we don't see that.
Well, you know what, though? One thing I'm surprised that Tom actually did tell the new lady about Darcy. Because Tom is so shady in the way he deals with things, so I was surprised at that.
Well, she's on TV, and she put him on TV. So if he's talking to her, she would know about Darcy. That's how she got to be filmed as well.
Now we have Stephanie and Erika. They're on the way to Erika's house for dinner. And of course, Stephanie's nervous. Erika's nervous because she's going to come out to her parents about being bisexual. And I don't think that's a problem because in earlier episodes, Erika said her parents were pretty cool with things and just life in general. So I really don't think that's a problem. But of course, Stephanie's apprehensive and she's actually bringing gifts. I mean, I think Stephanie brought gifts for everybody during this episode.
Everybody but her friends.
Well, that's true too. So now they finally make it to the house for dinner and her parents are very welcoming. It's actually very funny too. They make jokes and just trying to
lighten up the mood.
Yeah, lighten up the mood. So while they're eating, the dad has most of the questions. He's like, oh, so how are things going and how are you liking it here? You know what? The dinner turned out well. Erika came out to her parents and her mom said, you know what? A mom always knows. She was like, really? You're not upset? They're like, no, this is your life. You have to live your life without being worried about anything.
Erika's always been so colorful and vibrant that she always had a feeling. But I understood what Erika was saying when, you know, even though your parents or parent might be open to things. You just never know how people are going to react, and you just don't want to feel rejected by certain things.
Yeah.
So I get why she was apprehensive, but I'm glad that she finally got off her chest. And her parents were like, only thing you need is a smile on that face, and that's it.
That's it.
And then the dad finally asked Stephanie, well, have you came out to your parents yet? Mm-hmm. Of course she says no.
Well, Stephanie's nervous to come out to her parents, and I can maybe see why. It looks like, maybe Stephanie holds herself to a higher standard. And I also remember Stephanie saying because of her disease progression, her family was, or at least her mom was afraid for her in the world, I guess. I don't know, but we'll see. It looks like Stephanie might be telling her parents sooner rather than later.
Lastly, we have Avery and Ash. And of course, we see Ash still walking away because he feels like Avery was just so patronizing to him. And he just felt so put down by her. Like, he knows the seminar didn't go as well as he thought it was going to go, even though he saw all those TED Talks and he didn't memorize correctly.
And the thing is, not only did the seminar not go well, it didn't go well because Avery was in the audience. Can you imagine if she wasn't in the audience, the things that he says on a normal, regular basis? I'm sure it would have been different than when she was there, because I think he had his best foot forward, because I'm sure
during the seminar?
Yeah.
You think that was his best?
Well, he tried to. I think when Avery was there, he tried to make it more
like he was like
well-rounded,
intellectual and stuff.
Versus things that he may have said if Avery wasn't there. The reason why he had 68 text messages in his phone before, but that's something else to talk about.
Well, Avery, all she wanted to do was get her point across. She's trying to figure out where his mind is at, since he has all these things to say about women. Later, we see them back at the hotel, and she basically said that they've been arguing all night long. It was the longest night of her life. Mm-hmm. And then we see Ash. He looked like he was just done.
Yeah, he was very emotional, very drained. I think maybe this is the first time that a woman in a relationship, or a woman from the seminar, take your pick, put it to him in a way like, I'm not feeling what you're saying. What you're saying is sexist, and I don't agree with you. And I think that hurt his spirit.
His feelings was hurt?
Very much so.
So was he getting in tune with his feminine side?
I would say so, but let Ash tell it he wasn't.
He felt all put down because Avery wasn't supporting him in his dreams of what he was talking about. And this was the day that she was supposed to meet his ex-wife and his son. So you don't know how this day is going to play out. So when they finally do have a conversation, Avery was like, all I wanted to know was your viewpoint. I just gave my opinions. Mm-hmm. But he was like, but you're not listening to me. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Right. It was almost
like what are you saying, though?
It was almost, to me, like a role reversal. It was almost as if Avery was Ash and Ash was Avery.
It was that on top of him trying to deflect, low-key, like, gaslight in there a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because I guess maybe this was him in a way trying to make him seem like him trying to be a macho man. I'm trying to get from it. I don't know what he was trying to do.
No. I didn't get the macho man thing. He was to me, a macho machismo man up until that seminar. Because he's a ladies' man. He's a single women's coach primarily, and he's used to getting praise. Avery saw the seminar in person and was like, you can't be saying all this to women and then believing in it. Are they? Mm-hmm. So that was, to me, what got Ash in his feelings.
Well, needless to say, he got all his stuff and he peaced out.
Well, he was ready to leave after he asked her, is there anything else you want to say to me? And I was like, she said it already.
My feelings is hurt because, like I said, I have been rooting for Ash since day one.
I had to look at you side-eyed. I'm about to take my glasses off. I use them to read, but I don't need them to look at you side-eyed.
And for him to say all those things and then him trying to deflect and not take any accountability for what he said, besides him saying the seminar didn't go as good as he thought it was, I'm disappointed. And Avery, she needs to go. Because he told her that she's too hard to love. I was like, girl, that's your cue.
Don't let someone tell you they don't want you twice.
Actually, 3 times. Or 4 times. However many times they broke up. Okay, everyone, so that was the end of this week's episode of 90 Day Fiancé. This episode was good. It was good. The best part to me was Ed and Rosemary. Because Rosemary was finally telling Ed off. In next week's episode, we're going to see her go even deeper to tell him off. Because someone needs to put him in his place. Because he is just portraying himself not to be a good person on the inside. And we don't like that.
We don't
With your
like
mayonnaise
that.
hair on the outside.
What I'm looking forward to is, yes, Ed and Rosemary, for sure. Also, I'm looking forward to Avery and Ash to see exactly what's going to happen if Ash really leaves and it's time for Avery to go and they don't speak anymore. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and you share. And let us know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below.
And as always, live simply, be grateful.